The actress and writer Caroline Aherne has died at the age of 52. She was creator and star of some of Britain's most successful comedies, including the acerbic chat show host Mrs. Merton.
But what first, Debbie, attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?
2 years ago, she announced she had lung cancer. Described as a comic genius, we'll be looking back at her life and her career. Also tonight, the terror attack at a Bangladesh cafe which killed 20, so-called Islamic State says it deliberately targeted foreigners. Hillary Clinton's questioned by the FBI about her use of a personal email account while she was Secretary of State.
He's done it! Massive win for Sam Querrey. Massive shock for Wimbledon. 26.
Novak Djokovic, defending champion, is out in one of the greatest upsets in the tournament's history. Hello, very good evening to you. The comic actress and writer Caroline Aherne has died at the age of just 52. The star was best known for her chat show host character Mrs. Merton and for creating the TV sitcom The Royal Family. She'd faced several forms of cancer dating back to her childhood. 2 years ago, she announced she was being treated for lung cancer. Many tributes have been paid to her tonight, with colleagues and fellow comedians describing her as a comic genius. Our correspondent David Silito takes a look back at her life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Debbie McGee. But what first, Debbie, attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?
Mrs. Merton's wig and glasses gave Caroline Aherne the chance to ask the questions that no one else would have dared to ask. It also made her a star. Caroline Aherne had a sharp comic brain.
Well, I once saw David Copperfield and he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. And I've seen your Paul do the same thing with the Eight of Clubs.
And 20 years on, the success of Gogglebox owed much to her comic skills.
BBC Two showed us some penguins having a rough time in Patagonia.
She had started out performing on the Manchester comedy circuit.
If on earth you're ugly, in heaven you'll be beautiful. So it's great news for that girl there in the front.
Her character comedy was perfect for the Fast Show. She won awards, but behind it all were many troubles. Drinking, depression. She struggled with fame and had a lifelong battle with cancer.
My brother and I were born with cancer of the eyes, the retina. And my mum told us that only special people get cancer. But I must be very special because I've had it in my lungs and my bladder as well. The phone's there to be used.
The phone's there for emergencies. How many times have you seen me ringing anyone?
Who are you going to ring? You've got no
Her masterpiece, though, was The Royal Family.
All I wanted for was just a day like Night Ellis. That's all I wanted, was it to be like Night Ellis.
You still can be, Denise.
Do you think?
Affectionate, funny, and often moving. Sue Johnston, who played her mum, said she was devastated, numb with grief.
She asked me to promise her that her funeral would be fun.
Oh. Caroline Aherne may have had her struggles, but she had a gift, often bittersweet, but always funny.
The actress and writer Caroline Aherne, who's died at the age of 52. The so-called Islamic State group says it deliberately targeted foreigners in an attack on a cafe in the Bangladeshi capital Dhaka last night. 20 people were killed from countries including Japan, Italy and the United States. 6 attackers also died. 1 was arrested. From Dhaka, Sanjoy Majumdar reports.
The moment when Bangladeshi special forces began storming the cafe. After a standoff that lasted 12 hours, they moved onto the roof of the building and then inside, as shown in these pictures taken from a nearby apartment.
Hello.
this Japanese journalist was able to contact someone at the scene.
Is this a gunshot?
Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me?
But it was clear that something terrifying was taking place. Some of the hostages were eventually rescued, but many others were not so lucky. Foreigners were isolated and then singled out.
During the operation, we saved the lives of 13 people, including 1 Japanese and 2 Sri Lankan citizens. 6 of the attackers were killed and 1 was arrested. After the operation, when we searched the building, we found 20 dead. Most were killed mercilessly with sharp weapons.
The Holy Artisan Cafe and Bakery is popular among wealthy Bangladeshis and expats. Many of them were dining there last night when the gunmen stormed in. These policemen have taken up position right across from the street where the attack took place. They've now cordoned it off. They're not letting anyone through, except for people who live here. There's an air of tension, but more than anything else, there's a sense of utter disbelief at the nature of the attack and the brutality of it.
The way they have carried out the killings cannot be tolerated. It shows the signs of extreme hatred, anger, and killing sprees flowing through them. How can a normal human being attack another in such a way, and that also in this holy month of Ramadan?
There's been a wave of recent killings in Bangladesh blamed on local Islamists, but nothing quite on this scale. Tonight, this Muslim-majority nation is trying to make sense of what just happened. Sanjay Majumdar, BBC News, Dhaka.
Hillary Clinton, the frontrunner to be the Democrats' candidate in the American presidential election, has been interviewed by the FBI about her use of a private email server while Secretary of State. Laura Bicker's in Washington for us with more. Will you just give us the background? What exactly is she purported to have done?
Well, Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, used 2 email accounts. One was a private home email account that was unprotected, and critics say she may have put hundreds of classified documents at risk. Now, the FBI here at their headquarters are investigating, and this morning Hillary Clinton went along with them voluntarily to be interviewed. Her staff have already been questioned. She's always said she's done nothing wrong, and legally it is possible charges could be brought, but experts say it is unlikely. What the Clinton campaign will be looking out for is they'll be looking for the political fallout of this questioning. What they'll be looking for is the fact that Hillary Clinton has put herself forward as a safe, experienced pair of hands against a more outlandish, controversial candidate in Donald Trump. Being questioned by the FBI for 3.5 hours does not help her case. So certainly in just a few weeks, she will be officially nominated as the Democratic presidential nominee. She'll stand on that stage. She might even be able to put this behind her personally, but politically, her opponents will make the most of it every chance they get.
Laura, thank you. Nobel Peace Prize winner and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel has died at the age of 87. He was best known for his memoir Night, based on his experiences as a teenager in the Nazi concentration camp of Auschwitz-Birkenau, where he lost his mother, father and younger sister. Tens of thousands of people have taken part in a rally in London to demonstrate against Britain's decision to leave the European Union. Many said they were there to voice discontent with the referendum results. Some Leave voters called the rally undemocratic. Our correspondent Sangeeta Maiska reports.
The streets of the capital thick with protesters, good-natured but passionate and desperate to be heard. They had responded to a single invitation on social media that went viral.
It was a very slim majority. It potentially give us serious financial harm in the future. It could lead to the breakup of the United Kingdom, and it could rob so many opportunities to so many other people.
From Hyde Park, families, the young, those fearful of the impact of Brexit, marched to Parliament Square. They questioned the very validity of a referendum whose result went against them.
What would you say to the 17 million
that voted Britain should exit the EU. They too have a democratic right.
They were lied to. The very next day, a lot of people voted because they thought that 350 million was going to go to NHS.
Here at the heart of the rally, everyone is united about one thing, that Britain has made the wrong decision to leave the European Union. But ask them what they want done next, and there's a spectrum of opinion. And around the corner, these men, one voted Brexit, one voted Remain, shared a dim view of the protest. So you voted to stay, you voted out.
I voted to stay, and I respect my vote, but I don't respect people who want to delete the vote because the vote is democratic.
It's done now, and that's it, we're finished. And you get this down in London, but you won't get it in the north. You won't get it on the east coast. You won't get it in Barnsley, you won't get it in Leeds, you won't get it in Newcastle or Sunderland.
The police have yet to confirm final numbers, but this is the biggest protest against the referendum outcome to date. Sangeeta Maiska, BBC News.
Now to sport, we'll have the football for you shortly, but first a seismic shock at Wimbledon today. Here's Catherine Downs with more. Catherine.
Yes, Kate, Wimbledon has been abuzz this evening after the greatest shock of the championships so far. The world #1 and defending champion Novak Djokovic is out. He was beaten in a rain-affected 4 sets that were strung out over 2 days by the 28th seed Sam Querrey from America. David Ornstein reports.
He's done it!
This was not supposed to happen. Defending champion, world #1 and holder of all 4 Grand Slam titles, knocked out of Wimbledon before the first week is even over. Sam Querrey has always been dangerous on grass, but beating Novak Djokovic, that is a big deal.
It's incredible, especially to do it here at Wimbledon, you know, the biggest tournament in the world, and I'm just so ecstatic right now and so happy.
Congratulations to Sam, he played a terrific match. He served very well as he usually does, and I think that part of his game was brutal today.
Djokovic trailed by 2 sets overnight. He pulled 1 back, but the weather turned, and so too the match. Djokovic's dreams of a calendar Grand Slam crushed.
We didn't see the best of Novak Djokovic, either when he went down 2 sets and had to sleep on that, or when he came out for the resumption. I know he won set number 3, but he just didn't look himself.
So with Djokovic out, could Andy Murray take advantage? The world #2 was up against the little-known Australian John Millman on centre court.
And Murray was quickly on top. Rain meant the roof was closed, but the Scot was stronger, outdoors and in. He moved into the last 16 without cause for concern. If only Djokovic could say the same. Murray is now the highest seed left in the draw, with hopes raised of a 2nd Wimbledon crown. David Ornstein, BBC News, Wimbledon.
Germany are through to the semi-finals of the Euro 2016 tournament in France after beating Italy 6-5 on penalties. Germany for very long because Italy struck back with a penalty in the 78th minute from Leonardo Bonucci to equalise. Meanwhile, Welsh football fans have been celebrating their extraordinary win last night against Belgium. It means they'll now meet Portugal in the semi-finals of Euro 2016. It's the first time they've been in the last 4 of a major football tournament. From Lille, Hal Griffith sent this report.
Savouring every second of their time in the sun, generations of Welsh fans will grow up hearing about last night's heroics in Lille. Unforgettable once the hangovers have cleared. For supporters who've spent decades facing failure, sometimes success can be hard to take.
The heart, the passion, just absolutely everything just mixed in together. Just made me cry. Come on!
Not my wildest dreams, I think, that we'd ever get to the quarterfinals, and we're in the semi-finals. I was crying, I have to say. It was a very emotional night.
And Carnu, Taylor's available. What a turn!
Against the odds, Wales beat a Belgian team ranked 2nd in the world.
In towards Vokes.
Many of these players have known each other since boyhood. Now they've grown into a team that, even with a star like Gareth Bale, has become far greater than the sum of its parts.
We can resist pressure when it's on us. you know, you get waves of attacks. You get every team has a spell against us, and we're able to see that spell out. And that's what you've got to do. Good teams do that.
Back home, the pride is immeasurable, as is the optimism that Wales could maybe go on to even greater things.
I thought they were not going to the semi-finals, but my dream came through. And I'm like,
what a team, you know? If Leicester City can win the Premier League, Wales could definitely win the Euros, couldn't they?
Why not go on and win it? Why not? The way that they played last night, you know, that they would have beaten any team put in front of them.
The next step is a journey to Lyon, where they'll take on Portugal. Wales will arrive with 2 of their players suspended and a new challenge, trying to contain Cristiano Ronaldo.
But all those worries can wait till next week. Now is the time to relish success and dream that even more can be achieved. Howell Griffith, BBC News, Lille.
Joe Root guided England to a 3-0 series win over Sri Lanka in the 5th one-day international. He hit 93 as England reached 324 for 7 before eventually going on to complete a 122-run victory in Cardiff. And Lewis Hamilton will be on pole for tomorrow's Austrian Grand Prix. The world champion beat Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg by just over half a second during a rain-hit qualifying session. A 5-place grid penalty means Rosberg will start 7th with Nico Hülkenberg and Jenson Button behind Hamilton on the grid. And that is all the sport from Wimbledon. Back to you, Kate.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed. You can see lots more, of course, on the BBC News channel. But from the team here, a very good night to you. Bye-bye.